Jennie and Jennie Nguyen, RHOSLC. What a great season this is. What a great season last season was. Before, back in a simpler time, actually, it was a simpler time. Before reality volunteers, before Miss Monica Garcia. Well, Jen was still in jail, but before Monica Garcia, before everyone's new favorite, Bronwyn Newport, I like her. I really do. Way back. Remember season two? Well, anyway, after season two, fast forward a little bit, but still before Monica Vontis, reality Vontis, but I call her Monica Vontis. In a simpler time, we sat down with the one and only Jennie Nguyen. This chat it's never before seen the light of day. But you know what? We are choosing to share it here today. So, I mean, we talk about Mary. She had a lot of issues with Mary, this Jennie, but we love Jennie. We talk about Heather. Remember when Heather was everyone's favorite? Huh. Was she our favorite? I don't know. Whitney, Meredith, Lisa, who you all seem to be loving Lisa this season. I mean, I've always loved Lisa. We talk about it all. We talk about all the cast members. Are we forgetting anyone? Let's see. So kick back, relax, and enjoy such a simpler time. What was RHOSLC like before Monica? I don't know, but it's certainly great without her now. So kick back, relax, and enjoy this chat with Miss Jennie Nguyen. See what she has to say.
Between the ladies. I think there are bits and pieces that was transpired, and there's a lot of, I would say, gossip behind the scene, and so you tend to take it personal, and you don't get the full facts. And so for me, is that was the low. I should have do more of a research and communicate more with the lady one on one on the show because I didn't have an opportunity to do that.
Right. And if you had a second season, you would have, done it
Resolve it.
differently,
Right. Yes.
possibly. Well, one person you didn't necessarily get along with, and you did have some controversy with, is Mary. We all saw it ourselves. I take it there's no love lost between you and Mary Cosby.
No, but the fact is, I never had an opportunity to sit down with her, have lunch or dinner, and have a conversation to see what's the difference between us or the conflict or the misunderstanding. I would love to have an opportunity to talk to Mary. I don't dislike Mary or I like Mary, it's indifferent. And so for me, it's like, I want to get to know her, but I never had an opportunity to get to know her. It's always Mary said something to somebody or someone told me about what Mary did the first season. And for me was I have that negative feeling, but it wasn't fair for Mary for me to prejudge. And I feel like I really would love an opportunity to just sit down with her and said, "Hey, what's going on? Why do we have this conflict? You don't know me, I don't know you. If you give each other an opportunity, let's get to know each other more."
Well, maybe after this podcast comes out, your phone will ring and it will be Mary Cosby.
Maybe.
I mean, it did seem like she didn't like you right from the get-go, which I never really could figure out. Like, I don't know if you understood why or.
I didn't understand why. I think the fact is I have a really bad day that day. There was a lot going on. It's my daughter' death anniversary. And so I think when you have a rough day, and everybody is entitled to have a rough day, right? And for me was I approach it in a wrong way. I should have been more considerate when she made those comments, but I kind of blow up a little bit, but there's no excuse. I took full responsibility. I own it. I should not curse in front of her because she's a lady of God. And so, yeah, that was my bad.
But nothing against her, like just you
Oh,
don't know her.
no. I don't have anything against her.
When you look back, and again, I'm not coming for you now, like to the finale, like where you guys did have these words and then you kind of like tossed your drink at her, like, do you regret that?
So I didn't toss my drink at her. I tossed it on the floor. When I approached Mary, I would like to talk to you. I want to talk to you. She totally ignored me. She totally just walked away. Like her persona portrayed like I don't even exist. So that really irks me. And prior to that, I met with Jen at her house And there was a lot said and about Mary, about the she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff or whatever it is, the first season, and I should never trust her, blah, 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 blah. And so for me, it was like, oh my God, I was all riled up. And then she totally just like pushed me away when I really wanted just to talk to her. And then, when you had enough, and then she's like, something about little Asian. I was like, what? That was uncalled for. So then I lost it. I do regret behave that way because I don't behave that way. I don't throw glasses, I don't throw stuff, but it's something inside of you that sometimes you just had enough. And yes, it was my fault. I should have controlled my behavior a little bit better.
We all have those moments, right? And then like
Yes,
to me, it's like when I get mad after the fact, I'm like, I'm mad at myself because like I don't
exactly.
act that way. I'm like, oh, why did you
Yeah,
break
after
David,
the fact, I was
right?
like, I should not have done that. I told my husband that was uncalled for. That was childish behavior. Never should have done that ever to anyone.
Right. And you're just mad at yourself. You're not even mad at the other person.
No, not at all.
Do you think, so like, you're not on the show anymore. Like Mary wasn't on the show. Like there's a look for 17 years, we're in 17 years since the Orange County Housewives started. If you don't go to the reunion, you basically lose your job. Like it's in the contract.
That's
So
what I was
Mary,
told. That's what I was
that's
told. Yes.
you and me both. So like Mary didn't go to the reunion. She wasn't on the show. Now all of a sudden she's back. Like, why do you think it is that she's back now?
That's a good question. Because Mary is very good for TV. I mean, she is very funny. She will tell you as it is. She does not sugarcoat it. She's going to tell you to your face if she doesn't like you, or she'll tell you what she's thinking. So she's good for TV and she's very funny. I think her one-liner is very funny. Watching her, she add a lot of charisma on the show. And so I think that's the reason why she's back. Now, I think there was a little misunderstanding or conflict between her and Lisa. So I think they're trying to get them to resolve that. And so that's why she's back on.
And
That's
like to your point, she's good TV. So like maybe it's that the show needs her. Like last season, season 3 was not a good season. Like, I mean, I'm saying it, but all the fans thought so. It was an off season. So maybe it's like Mary's needed for the show, right?
I think that's what Bravo thinks, and I think is a good step to bring Mary back to spice up the show a little bit more.
If she did attend the reunion, because you guys did have conflict, like you would have obviously this would have been talked about at the reunion. Like, what would you have said to her at the reunion if she did attend?
Um, like I told Andy, I was like, I don't know why she doesn't like me. I want to know why my Mary doesn't like me. So that would be my first question is, Mary, what did I do to you? Why don't you like me? What did I do? If there's something I did that you don't like, okay, I'll look upon myself and change or be better because we're always learning to be better. And so that's the first question I would ask her is, why don't you like me? What did I do? I want to know what I did to you.
That's a good question. Do you feel that you don't have closure with me? And this whole podcast is not going to be about Mary. Trust me, we have a lot of other things to talk about. But do you feel, to me, like, do you not have closure with her? Because, like, she wasn't at the reunion. You never got to ask this question.
Yes, I walking away from the reunion, that's how I felt. I don't have any closure from her. I don't have any closure from anyone actually, because it was all over the place. To be honest, at the reunion, nothing was resolved. To be honest, it's like all over the place. You're getting, Heather like butchering Lisa when she's like, "Oh, I want to be friends," and then suddenly Meredith defending Jen when on the show she's like, "Oh, I know the cop's gonna come for her," and it's like, what the heck happened? How come this whole story or opinion just completely changed 180? What went wrong? What went down? So I walk away confused.
Well, that's what often happens when someone's a first-year housewife. They're like, what was that tornado that I just
I'm like, what the
experienced
heck
here?
happened? Yeah, it wasn't consistent.
Did you learn anything from your one season? Like, if you did come back, were you like, oh, to that point, like, I know how to play the game now, guys?
Well, if I were to come back, yes, I learned a lot. Not to listen to anybody behind the scene or on the phone or call me at night talking to me for hours telling me about someone or someone did this, and then I don't know, I'm a rookie, and so for me it's like I take it to heart and I'm like, oh, I have this negative image of them, and I should never, I should just tell them, talk to me about it on the show. You want to say something to me, say it on the show. I will not take any more phone calls after the fact, and believe them. So yeah, I learned a lot. I would do a lot of things differently if I were back on the show.
Right. Like you would just take the person at face value. Like, I heard all this
Yes.
about you, but you're right in front of me and you seem wonderful. So you must be
Yeah.
wonderful
What's
to
the
me.
problem here? Yeah. Yeah.
Did you feel manipulated by like your castmates?